shout out to Brother Marquette. And why I gotta give a shout out to Brother Marquette. The reason why. Because he doing something that black people, particularly when it comes to the Christian church. Me personally, I see the Christian church as, to me, the modern day Christian church, to me, as white supremacy. And before y'all say something about it, shout out to Marquette again, breaking this shit down. Me personally, if you practice Christianity, this religion that was given to us by our former slave masters, to me, to make us better products basically to make us better products of use. And even now, when you really look at Christianity, you have these people that call themselves white nationalist Christians. And they don't have no solidarity with black Christians. And often, for what, always going back, they used to basically burn crosses in black churches, bomb black churches. These people have no respect for black Christians. So when Donald Trump did an airstrike saying that Christians in Nigeria being persecuted by Muslims, I don't really think that they actually gave a fuck about Nigerian Christians getting killed by Hausa tribes in the north, that most of them are Houthis. I think there was more of a message telling Niger that we here. That, to me, that's why I see that white supremacy and colonial powers trying to basically show their head. But even to the point where he went down and went and snatched up the Venezuelan president, what's his name, Gustavo Guerrero. But to me, that's all in all kidnapping. When they kidnapped him and his wife, they literally broke an international law. But and now the same thing he doing in Greenland, trying to force them to sell Greenland, when you got sovereign citizens on that land that are Finnish who said they do not want to be a part of the United States. So to me, this is one-on-one American imperialism, and to me, Christianity is just a part of that. This is why I can't subscribe to Christianity. You did. This is why I can't subscribe to it. Because I know what the religion details, I know what it is, and I don't follow. I don't follow. And the reason why you have a lot of black people that rebel from it, because they all know, the men and women who rebel from it, they all know that it's a lie. It's a lie. So these brothers and sisters don't know what direction to go to, because they don't have no religious sense of where to grasp, where to grab hold to, because there's no religious philosophical things to guide them. You know, and you can say the same thing about Islam as well. A lot of black people, they don't know where they sit religious and spiritual wise. Some of them just go to church and just do things, they think Christianity, well, yeah, it was given to us by the white people as a tool of to make us better products, and we know that, but yet we're gonna still practice it anyway. And that's pretty much what it is. That's why I don't subscribe to Christianity. I can't subscribe to it, because all I see is a religion that was used against us to make us a better product of their own use. And today it still works as such in the black community. Now some try to create basically what say they are Hebrew sects like that, but Marquette asked them, if you gonna say you're a Hebrew, it's only fitting that you learn to read that Bible in the language that is of the Torah, and you read it in Hebrew or Aramaic. How many of these niggas that call themselves Hebrew know how to do that? How many of these niggas read the King James version of the Bible and say you got to get it out of this? Or you got some blacks that now you got the you got the Ethiopian Bible. But if it's written in English, you ain't getting nothing out of it, because you're not reading in the original language that it came in. See, what people don't understand, before white people became Christian, white people were barbarians and shit. The churches, all your Christian churches came out of Africa. So why would you want to follow the Catholic Church, the Greek Church, any of these European churches when they got their religion from Africans? They hold the religion they got from us. They changed it and flipped it around to basically soothe their needs. And then you already know they gonna already take books out. They took all the books of Jubilee out. They took all the books out, and then put what they wanted in during the Council of Nicaea. All these councils they had during the time of the end of the Roman Empire, the Western Roman Empire collapsed. So this is when they made the Christian Reformation, was starting with Constantine, Emperor Constantine, which they still put in certain Roman and Greek practices that they've been having, like the Eucharist and shit. That's completely Greek and Roman. You know, like the whole idea of eating of the flesh and turning the bread into the flesh and the wine into the blood. Because before that, they used to actually literally eat the flesh and drink of the blood of a martyr. This is what they did. This is what they ain't gonna tell y'all. They literally used to eat the flesh and drink the blood of a martyr before they made it out of the Eucharist and made it into the wafer, the small wafer, and the blood. The Greek, it started with the Greeks, and the Romans picked the Eucharist up. The Latins picked it up from the Greeks. But literally, they used to literally eat the flesh and drink of the blood of the martyrs. Y'all didn't know that? Yes, that's what they used to do it in real life. And see, this is why I don't practice Christian. When people come to me, especially when white people come to me talking about, do you know your Lord Jesus Christ? No, I do not. Don't come to me with that bullshit. Don't come to me with that bullshit. That's why I told a Mormon, especially a goddamn Latter-day Saint Mormon, and now they got black people and other groups of people that join in the Mormon church. How could you niggas join the Mormon church? And the founder of the Mormon church, Joseph Smith, was a racist like a motherfucker. He was a racist. They trying to change all that shit up because they even under other Christian sects here in America, the whole Mormonism is seen no different than they see Jehovah's Witness or Pentecostals. But to me, all of it's bullshit. I don't subscribe to none of it. None of the Christianity, especially that form, came from these Europeans or white folk. I don't practice that shit, and if you come to me with what I know, I'm gonna destroy your ass all the time. Especially these evangelical so-called white nationalist Christians that y'all took a flipped and turned around a black religion that came out of Africa from black people and flipped it and turned it to y'all perverted ass bullshit that you white folks worship. Talking about I'm a white Christian nationalist. Do y'all know that y'all religion came from black Africans? Do you know that your religion, y'all Christians, religion? No, y'all don't. But I ain't practicing that virgin, and you got Anton Daniels, this stupid, four-eyed, looking like Gonzo on the muffins. Only thing, I'm glad that Corey Holcomb just went off on him. I think where he went wrong when he should not talk about that man's daughter. That's where he went kind of wrong. Yeah, I said, man, you should not have did that. His daughter don't got nothing to do. That kid don't got nothing to do with that nigga. You know, but he run his shit catching up with him now. He running around with little side chicks and shit, and he got a wife. I understand, because your wife is not attractive. So he running around here with little side chicks and have the nerve to critique the black community. But he a whole nother video that I'm gonna get into talking about this nigga. He a whole nother video, Mr. I'm a Christian, Mr. Side chick having Anton Daniels, I'm a Christian. Nigga, get your bitch ass up out of here. Nigga, you been exposed for the nigga that you are, basically pandering to white folks by saying I ain't black, I ain't this, I'm a Christian. Well then, nigga, I'm gonna tell you what, you take that white man version of Christianity, shove it up your ass, bitch ass nigga. Cause if I was Corey Holcomb, well, I understand Corey Holcomb. He didn't want to lose his shit. You know, that's some of his bread and butter other than doing comedy stand up with Corey Holcomb. So yes, I understand him fully. But see, I don't have those. Even if I would have got up and tucked it to the back, I know I would have beat the shit out of Anton Daniels. The fight wouldn't last that long. He's not built like that. He's not no nigga like he's not built like that. And see, Corey Holcomb would have probably beat the shit out of him. But Corey Holcomb has to think. If I go out here and beat this nigga ass on my show, they'll put a strike on my channel and shit like that. And he actually was smart by that. But see, that's a whole nother video about that nigga. I don't know. But other than that, that is the reason why I don't practice Christianity, because where it came from and how it was given to black people as a tool to make us better slaves. And a lot of y'all niggas still believe in that shit. And when then you look at me crazy when I say I don't believe in such madness, I don't follow a slave religion, because that's what it was. They gave y'all niggas a slave religion that y'all practice. Some of them try to repackage into Hebrewism and shit, but it's still the same slave religion at the end of the day if you're not reading it in the language that it came from, which is like Marquette said, if you ain't reading the Ethiopian book, what you call the book, what the Ethiopian book called, I forgot what it's called, but if you ain't reading that Bible, that Ethiopian Bible in the language for which it came from, which is Coptic, or Amharic, or Tigray, you reading it, in the African languages that it came from, because even the Greek language changed a little bit, because the first Bible was written in Greek. It was written in Kaf. And Kaf is a version of the ancient Egyptian hieroglyphs that were transformed. They changed it, and then they changed the whole African aspect of it, because the Christian religion was completely African. It was a plagiarized religion already, but it was completely African. It wasn't nothing European about Christianity before the Europeans got it and fucked it up and gave y'all their version and twisted it and fucked it up. Change all the characters to white folks, when we all know when nobody in that damn Bible white. When those people in that Bible looked like me, it looked a little bit, some may have been lighter and some may have been darker, but they didn't look like no white folks, I tell you that. They didn't have, if you go have an image of Jesus, he didn't look like no blonde hair, white ass Jesus, fooling around with blonde, looking like a goddamn hippie. That Jesus, that fake ass Jesus. But I digress.